Good morning, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Be Ready with Safety Man. My name is Corey Jones with safetyman.co. And remember, on Be Ready with Safety Man, we do three things. And we do three things to keep you safe. The first one, I want everybody to know that this is a taser, okay? It's a taser. It's a weapon that is legal in the state of New Jersey, Pennsylvania, New York City. It is designed to keep you safe. And guess who was the first instructor in the state of New Jersey as a local law enforcement officer? Safety Man was. So see me at safetyman.co. We can get you a taser, we can get you the training, and we can keep you safe. You have a business, you have a house of worship, you have a school, you have a daycare, any place where you have a lot of people, a speaking event, you get Safety Man will come, we'll do active shooter readiness response training, and finally we do de-escalation training, keeping that problem low. There's a couple things in the news where employees of businesses were going physical against non-violent patrons just to get them out. And Ralph, as I'm sure you would imagine, that's just not the way to go. And
Not
Ralph, again, I want to thank you for showing up today. I got Ralph Graves Jr.
Thanks for having me.
Your next keynote speaker.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, man. Just tell me about what's going on. Tell me about yourself, brother.
Well, first of all, you and I connected. I'm retired law enforcement, so I understand the language that you're speaking, especially the de-escalation.
Exactly.
But right now, retired 7 years ago. Right now, I pastor a church, Cornerstone Community Church in Millville, New Jersey. Been pastoring there about 14 years.
Amen.
But also, I'm a motivational speaker. I'm a trainer. I'm a consultant. I have the opportunity of going around the country and talking to different people about different things, coaching and just some life principles that I have been able to employ as a police officer, and then even afterwards, and to really help people gain some ground. I even done some acting too. So.
Well, you're not acting now. This seems pretty sincere.
No, this is the real deal.
This is the real deal today.
Yes, sir.
Now, let me ask you a question. So I know my first couple of years as a police officer, I was that cop that I was almost like, the ones you see on TV that were just step out of the car, do this. And then I progressed, I matured a little bit. Yeah. And then those lessons that I learned, I've been applying to my business now in my life. How about you? Similar? Same thing.
Yeah. I mean, you get out the academy, I think I was 23 years old. You're going to change the world. Yeah. You're going to make this huge difference. And you're full of vinegar. I will say that.
You're just vinegar. Just vinegar.
And, you're running around. You're at every bar fight. You're at every anything. You're just all over the place. And then as you mature, you start seeing the value in de-escalating situations and really becoming a mature leader. And I've been able to develop a whole leadership program behind that. I was made a sergeant at 25.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Congratulations. You beat me.
Yeah. So I don't think it was the right thing to do at the time, but I knew that I needed some leadership training to lead the men and women that were in my squad, and also to really make a real difference in the job we're doing. But to answer your question, we run all over the place, and
So those experiences obviously formed you, molded you to do what you're doing today.
Yes.
So 3 or 4 life lessons that you learned as a police officer that manifest themselves in your training and your coaching.
One of the things is law of habit. I started really understanding universal laws, law of habit. We are our habits, whether they are good or bad. So I learned how to replace, not just get rid of bad habits, but you have to replace them with good ones. So law of habit, law of intelligent practice, as a police officer, and I played sports my whole life and coached football, but even in the job as police officer and as a safety man, you'll know that you will carry out what you've been practicing.
Yes.
And so the law of practice, the law of intelligent practice is so very important. How do we respond to a threat? How do we respond in any instance? I have to have practiced it. So law of habit, law of practice, and finally my favorite law, I learned the law of reciprocity. Whatever you put out there, good or bad, it's coming back. You can try to avoid it all you want to. I don't care who you are.
It's like a boomerang, right?
It's like a boomerang, and it shows up at the most inconvenient time or at the best time possible. So I constantly wanted to sow good things, put good things out. And they came back.
Well, you'll be happy to hear this. We had a health scare in my immediate family, and we prayed on it. We just got good news.
Wow,
we
that's
just
awesome.
got good news.
That's awesome.
We just
God
got
still
good news.
answers prayer.
Yes, He does.
Yes, I have to say that.
Yes, He does. Yes, He does. So tell me about your church again, where it is, in case we have anybody out there that's looking for a place to worship.
I pastor Cornerstone Community Church in Millville, New Jersey.
Okay.
It's 911 Church Street, 911. So this whole safety thing.
Yeah.
911 Church Street in Millville.
Okay.
We have two services. We have a 8:30 service. We have a 10 o'clock service. If you can't make it all the way to Millville, you can find us on the web at www.c3ecornerstone.net. You can catch online services. I mean, there's ways to be involved. We have an online campus. So
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So now you do speaking. You do motivational speaking.
Yes, and
now
leadership training.
When I first met you, your voice, your demeanor, your persona, just I could see you captured the room, and you weren't even a talker. You were just there to watch somebody else speak.
That's right. Yeah.
So that's just what I want to do for a living.
Okay.
Is kind of do what you're doing. So
Yeah.
give me some tips about how I can improve my game, step up my game.
Well, you know what? I tell people motivational speaking is really becoming an awesome storyteller. You have to be able to tell the story. You never make a point or try to drive home a principle without a story.
Okay.
Story, point, story.
Okay.
People remember stories.
Yeah,
Jesus taught in what? Parables. Because we remember the human mind. And so you become a great storyteller. And you can capture, you always, if someone, a company hires you to come in, safety man, we need you to cover ABC.
Yeah.
Have stories that emphasize those points that they're trying to get across.
Okay.
And the phone won't stop ringing.
Okay. Now, you remember me, I'm sure you've heard of David Goggins.
Yes.
Okay, so I read his book, Can't Hurt Me.
Yes.
Your book, which I just got an autographed copy of, it's called Unstoppable.
Unstoppable.
We'll have some pictures of it up later after the break.
Yeah.
But you got 7 universal laws in there that will transform and pursue and achieve success.
Yeah. Yes.
So there's 3 that you really wanted to talk about today?
Well, yeah, there was the 3 that I had mentioned, the law of habit, the law of intelligent practice, the law of reciprocity. The most important out of the 7, though, is, people don't want to, they don't want to embrace it, but it is the law of forgiveness.
Okay.
And I think we really don't understand what forgiveness is all about.
Okay.
Forgiveness doesn't mean that we have to remain chummy and buddy-buddy.
Right,
Forgiveness is, I've decided no longer to allow what you've done to me rule and reign how I live my life. And I have released you. That doesn't mean we're friends. That means I ever have to call you again. I've forgiven you.
Right.
I have
Okay.
to let it go, because any unforgiveness will block our creativity.
Okay.
And then we can't really do the things that we were purposed to do and called to do. So we cover that in that book. It's 7 universal laws that'll change the way you achieve and pursue success. And so we cover 7. There are many more. I didn't invent them, but they're universal laws. Right. So, but I put them in a practical way. I think that men and women can really understand. And there's a little workbook in there. You can fill out some things in there. So I like it. I like the book. I stand behind it.
Well, hopefully I'll get it read within a week or 2, and I'll definitely hit you back up with my feedback. But
Please.
from talking to you, I can tell it's going to be good. Now, one law that I learned was if I have a resource, I got to keep that resource right here,
Yes, sir.
so I don't let it go and I get something out
That's
of it.
right.
The law of habit. That's
Yeah.
one of the ones that's dogged me my entire life.
Okay.
I have the habit of being a procrastinator.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you said, so replace it.
Yeah.
So I need you to give me a tip or 2 and give everybody out there a tip or 2 how to replace that procrastination, how to replace any habit with a good one.
Well, the reason why we say replace it is because picture an old chair that you have in your house, right? You're going to say, I'm getting rid of it, I'm getting rid of it, I'm getting rid of it, and you stick it out in the garage. Until if you don't buy that new chair to replace it, in about 4 weeks, that old chair you didn't like is coming right back in the house. And we do the same thing with habits. I want to get rid of it, and we put it away, but we never replace it. And so with procrastination, and I read this book, and I never met her. One day I won't meet her. There's a book out there called The 5-Second Rule, Mel Robbins.
Read it. Good book.
Okay, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You
Yeah.
jump up and you make it happen. So procrastination, a lot of us suffer from it. I did a whole podcast on it one day. And so you have to get up and move. Okay, the time is now. So people say, what time is it? I say right now. The time is now. When you start developing the mindset that I can't change yesterday, Tomorrow, I have no idea what's going down. The time is right now. And so, if something has to be done, safety man, I just jump up and do it.
Okay.
I'll give myself a second. I might take a beat, but then I know I have to. Because if it doesn't get done, it's nobody's fault. It's my own.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, we have to take a second for
All
a
right.
commercial break, and we'll be right back with Ralph Graves Jr., Unstoppable. Come back.
I work 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. So when I'm off the clock, I gotta get stuff done. So when I need a snack, I need something healthy, tasty, and easy to eat. Like wonderful pistachios without the shells. They're protein-powered, delicious, and great on the go. And that's perfect for me. Thanks, Liz. A woman without a lot of time.
Whether you're a gourmet cook or just want to eat like one, visit Rostelli Market Fresh, your home for the freshest, locally sourced ingredients to please everyone who loves great food. Our organic meats, quality seafood, and free-range poultry are cut fresh to order. Chefs create culinary-inspired prep foods made fresh every day, which pair nicely with our vast selection of fine wines and spirits. Choose from handmade pastas, artisan cheeses, organic produce, and grocery items, all from the finest purveyors. Rostelli Market Fresh, from our family to yours.
RVN TV is a platform for people of any industry to share their story. Over 285,000 viewers are tuning in to RVN TV shows monthly. We guarantee a great experience that you'll be sharing with everyone you know while increasing your personal and company's brand awareness. But what is your brand? According to Forbes, it's a combination of your logo, your product, your design and feel, and your personality. Did you know that aside from being a guest, we offer even more opportunity to boost your brand? Adding your company logo and website on screen during your interview will allow viewers to recognize your brand instantly. Incorporating images and video clips is another great way to showcase your product during your live segment. Let viewers see how good you really are. And most importantly, there's you and your interview. For less than the cost of a newspaper, direct mail, or a magazine ad, you can leave our studio and within 48 hours have a permanent digital copy of your live segment to link to your social media, embed into your company website, or use in email marketing. Investing in your brand is so very important, and we can't wait to have you as a guest.
Shelter dogs aren't broken. They've simply experienced more life. If they were human, we would call them wise. They would be the ones with tales to tell and stories to write, the ones dealt a bad hand who responded with courage. Do not pity a shelter dog. Adopt one.
Say we've got grit, and we'll take it as a compliment. Because it's our uncommon drive, our spark within, that brings us together and sets us apart. We are temple made. And when others take shortcuts, when others take breaks, when others take the easy way, we take charge.
Add us on social media to watch bloopers, behind the scenes footage, previews, and more.
I work 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. So when I'm off the clock, I gotta get stuff done. So when I need a snack, I need something healthy, tasty, and easy to eat. Like wonderful pistachios without the shells. They're protein-powered, delicious, and great on the go. And that's perfect for me. Thanks, Liz. A woman without a lot of time.
Whether you're a gourmet cook,
All right, welcome back to Be Ready with Safety Man. Now, if you remember before the break, I was talking to Ralph about a couple of different things that we can do to help with habits, okay? One of my struggles that I said was procrastination. So what I didn't do is I didn't send a couple of the pictures to my production crew. So I'm having Ralph pick up that slack for me and send this one picture. But in the meantime, I wanted you to remember the things that we talk about of being ready. Don't procrastinate. If you're a business, if you're a house of worship, if you're a school, if you're a daycare, wherever you are and you need this training, whether it be active shooter, readiness response, or de-escalation training, the time is now. Get it done now. I'm talking about headlines on TV where I want to increase your safety and decrease your liability. All right? So there's a picture of Ralph's book coming up, and I just want you to tell me about how you got inspired to write the book, why you wrote the book, and then just what people are going to actually get out of it. And there we are.
Well, I got inspired to write the book. I've watched all classes of people struggle. But I know that God, our creator, created the universe. I'm not one who worships the universe. I don't do that. I worship the creator. I never worship the creation.
Amen.
So he sets up the universe, and there are certain universal laws that if you just operate within, you'll be successful. For instance, gravity. I'm fine as long as I respect gravity.
Yeah.
But Christian, Jew, non-Christian, Muslim, if we're on top of the highest building in the city and jump off, nobody's growing wings.
No.
Everybody disrespected gravity.
Yeah.
But we can all be successful if we respect gravity. So these universal laws, like reciprocity, like habit, intelligent practice, forgiveness, mental equivalency, the law of control, these type universal laws were set up for our success.
Okay.
And so I've watched, and as a police officer on the street, I've watched people become successful no matter what color, no matter what education, no matter what their financial status were. People that operated and understood how to, they say today, move in the world that God has created. Yeah. I've met most of my millionaire friends have 8th grade educations. Now, I'm not saying anything wrong with education. I just said they figured out how to move.
Right.
And so I thought it was important to put it out there.
Yeah.
And so I started living and moving and operating, and it's been smooth sailing. But every time I try to violate one of these laws, say I don't forgive you, you do me dirty. I'm not saying what you did was right, but if I don't forgive you, it pauses something, it stops something inside of me.
It takes some of your energy, right?
Right, that tries to grow.
Yeah.
If I don't use intelligent practice, notice how I didn't say practice.
Right.
Practice doesn't make perfect.
Yeah.
Intelligent practice makes perfect.
Exactly.
So if I'm not practicing intelligently, if I don't understand the law of control, which is controlling my desires, not controlling anybody else, but controlling my desires, controlling how I see the world. If I don't exercise these things, there's no way in the world I can be successful. So that's why I wrote the book, and there's a lot of stories in there, a lot of things that I've seen on the street. I don't hide in the book that I'm a believer. I'm a Christian. I love the Lord. I believe in Jesus Christ, my personal Savior. But it's not a Christian book. I'm just telling you that that's who I am. Yeah. Because those universal laws apply to everybody.
That's what I was going to say. Those laws just happen to be universal, right?
Universal. They apply to everybody. So that's why, and I wrote it. And
where can people find this?
They can find it at barnesandnoble.com. They can find it at Amazon.com.
Okay.
You can find it at RalphGravesJr.com.
Okay.
So RalphGravesJr.com, BarnesandNoble.com, Amazon.com, and you can pick up your copy right there, and it'll be shipped right to you. If you have Prime or something, probably be there overnight, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
And what are we looking at now, Ralph?
That was put together by my public relations department, and that's just an advertisement. If someone want me on their show or their podcast, kind of send that out to them. I do think I'm a pretty good guest. I don't know. I guess you'll let me know later on. We'll find out when the ratings come out. But it just tells hosts what I'm about, and there's some questions to ask, and so maybe somebody will see it and say, you know what, hey, he's a good guest to have on the show.
Yeah, well, I definitely think you are. So that's one of the other things you do is you'll be a guest on somebody's show.
Yes.
Just about any show.
Just about any show. They have me. If they call me, I'll be a guest.
Okay.
I share with you. I used to have a podcast. They're tough running, so I prefer being a guest.
Okay. I know. I did both now. I ran a podcast, and I
Yeah.
just told you the other day, I was on a sketchy podcast the other day, but I
Right.
was a guest.
Right.
So it was a lot. I didn't have to control anything. I didn't have to worry about the volume.
Had to show up.
So that law of control was, I'm going to cede control to them.
That's right.
And operate within there.
Correct.
Operate within
Correct.
there. So now there's a gentleman up there that some people may recognize from TV. So who is this guy?
That's Damon John. I had an opportunity to meet him. He came to Philadelphia. He's one of the guys on Shark Tank.
Yeah.
He started FUBU Clothing. His whole story was just very inspiring to me. And I got a chance to meet him and talk with him for some time backstage. And some words he said to me really changed the course of my. That picture was taken when I first retired.
Oh, wow.
I first retired the police. That might have been about 6 or 7 years ago. Now I think. But I hold him in high regard.
Yeah. He's a great individual, and he seems like he's very helpful and motivating to a lot of his guests.
If you can get near him, he'll help you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. So, all right, thanks for those pictures. Now, what I wanted to finish up with was social media. Like, how can people get a hold of you as far as booking you as a client, as a guest, or what I really like the best is having that keynote speaker. I'm running a seminar, and I want somebody to just be mic drop moment, have everybody leave feeling good, feeling positive, and having an action plan, because that's what Safety Man's all about.
That's right.
Is having an action plan. You and I cannot leave each other's presence without you giving me a piece of action and me giving you an action plan or something that you can do to help yourself.
Exactly. All social media outlets. I'm on Instagram at Ralph Graves Jr. I'm on Facebook at Ralph Graves Jr. I'm on Twitter at Ralph Graves Jr. I'm on LinkedIn as Ralph Graves Jr. You go to my website and it says book Ralph at www.ralphgravesjr.com. You can book me there on my website. You can email directly at, you'll never forget this, yournextkeynote@gmail.com. And here's another one you won't forget. Ralph at ralphgravesjr.com. So you can email me at all those different locations, and someone from the team or myself will get back to you, and we'll see if how we can best serve you, serve you and your company. I even do some coaching, consulting, make us a keynote speaking. I have a whole program called the Gulfstream Way. The whole Gulfstream Way. So
tell me about that.
The Gulfstream Way is how we take these laws and these principles and really apply them, and we go a lot deeper. A lot deeper. And I named it Gulfstream Way because the Gulf Stream kind of determines the climate of our weather. If there are certain things you can do that will determine the climate of your lifestyle. And so we coach companies, we coach individuals, CEOs or whatever, into really some climate change in their lives.
All right. I thought you were going Gulfstream, like if I follow your principles, I'll be able to afford a Gulfstream jet.
Maybe. It's my desire that we all can get a Gulfstream jet. Believe you me.
Or at least I can ride on yours with you once or twice.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt.
All right, now I want to have some fun. So, who's the most famous person that you met?
I've met so many famous people in different arenas. Damon John's in the business arena. John Maxwell is one of my, Les Brown, motivational speaker. I have some pictures with Les. I probably should have sent them to you. In the sports arena, just about every basketball player and football player. There's so many names. There's people I would like to meet. Some of them, I never met Prince. I never met Muhammad Ali. I saw somebody the other day, me and my wife were on TV, we're watching TV, and she said, I said, you know what, I'd love to meet Shaquille O'Neal.
I hear he's a really cool guy.
I don't know, it's just somebody I could probably laugh with, belly laugh with. I would love to meet Shaquille O'Neal. So I met a lot of famous people.
I always say this, that if I could have a beer with a famous person, the gentleman who's always on the top of my list is Barack Obama.
Without a doubt,
always, I just said, can we just have to get an American beer? That's all. It's the only thing.
I'd just like to talk to him about the challenges of that office. I love him or hate him. He did something for 8 years that would have drove me crazy.
Oh my goodness, can you imagine? On the street, you were in charge of what, 6, 7, 8 people?
6, 7, 8 people,
and he's 6, 7, 8.
And no matter what you do, somebody's ticked off.
At least half of them. At least half of them. So he had the law of control. You were mentioning something earlier about the law of KISS, keep it simple. Right? You were saying keep it simple. And I definitely like to follow that law.
You have to. You got to keep it simple. There's no need to complicate things.
So young brothers and sisters that are growing up out there, anybody who's under 16, 17, they're still in school, they got parents, they got mentors, they got teachers, they got coaches. And one thing that I found with kids is they won't listen to their parents, but if somebody else tells them the same thing, they may pick up on it. So what advice would you give a 15, 16, 17-year-old other than reading this book? Because my kids are going to read this book. They're 12 and 14, they're going to read it. But some advice, some tangible advice, something that they can do now.
I'm going to use it now. I got to tell this story.
Yeah, please.
I'm a storyteller.
Yeah.
I have a nephew, and he's not here. He plays football in North Carolina. Top five in the nation, his age group. I mean, you know, the colleges are coming after him. Wide receiver, phenomenal. Really proud of him. This year, for whatever reason, the high school he's at, they're not throwing him the ball. They're not, you know, even though he already has offers, they're not throwing him the ball. They're just trying to avoid making him shine.
Really?
Now, that would normally mess with a 15, 16, 17-year-old child. But you know, our family's very strong, and so we pump into him, we talk to him, because you got to have a network. And one of the things I told him, and this is where I'm going with this: learn to be the star or go hard when you don't have the ball. So they're not throwing you the ball, run your patterns 100%. Somebody's watching. Make the best blocks you can make. Somebody's watching. Right? Somebody's watching. And so I want to say to young people that are listening or maybe watching this now, even when you are not the center of attention, because at that age you want to be the center of attention.
Of course. I still do.
Right. Learn to play without the ball. Learn to go hard even when you think no one's watching, because everybody's watching. Work on your craft, work on your talent. If you're not being highlighted, it should not affect the work that you put in. If it's grades, if it's, you might want to rap, you might want to sing, you might be playing an instrument, nobody can stop you from practicing intelligently and even playing as hard as you possibly can. It will not go unnoticed.
Right, so. And those scouts that are watching, that are making them offers, they know if he was open, he could have had the ball or not.
That's right.
And they're seeing that he's doing that.
How does he play without the ball?
Exactly.
Jerry, I heard this about Jerry Rice, and I heard this about, you can tell I was a football coach, right? So there's a guy, he's actually one of my speaking coaches. He played with Jerry Rice, right? He said one thing was different about Jerry. He said, I showed up at the San Francisco 49ers, and he was coming from, at that time, the Houston Oilers or Tennessee Titans, and he shows up on the 49ers. He said, Jerry was always the first one out there. He said, okay, that's cool. I'm going to be out here with Jerry Rice. He said, but one thing Jerry did in practice is every time he caught the ball, he ran full speed to the end zone over and over and over and over and over again. And this was in practice. And he went out, and after practice one day, he said, Jerry, why? We're in practice. Every time you catch, it could be a 3-yard slant, could be a little dink and dunk. Other receivers would just get back in line. Jerry would run to the end zone. Jerry, why do you do this? And Jerry said to him is that I wanted to train my feet and my legs. I wanted them to understand that every time the ball touches my hands, I go score.
Nice.
And so, and I just want to tell everybody at the sound of my voice, when you get the opportunity to be the best that you can, you get in the habit of doing it. Every time your hand touches the ball, go score. Just go score. Just go score. And you'll become unstoppable and unforgettable. Maybe that's the title of my next book, Unforgettable.
Unforgettable. All right, I'm not the next American Idol. I'm not going to Hollywood.
Come on, Nat.
Yeah. All right, so we learned a lot of stuff here, and I'm sorry this half hour is over.
Oh, man.
We're definitely going to have you back.
Yeah.
All right, Ralph?
Thanks. But
remember what he said. Be unstoppable. Remember those laws. The book is Unstoppable. You can get on Amazon, you can get on Barnes & Noble, and you can get on Ralph Graves.
Junior.com.
All right? Yeah. Thank you so much.
Hey, man,
God bless you.
Bless you, brother.
And be safe.
Thank you.
Come back next week for Be Ready with Safety Man. Be safe, be ready. All right.